Pussycat Hip Hop Squad.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Barclaycard Arena, Birmingham, ahead of match night 5 in the UK's first ever National Badminton League. Tonight, Birmingham Lions entertain Loughborough Sport as the race for a top 4 spot and a place in the playoffs hots up. Birmingham currently lies second in the table and could guarantee qualification tonight, whereas Loughborough need a big win to get themselves back in contention. The fastest racket sport in the world just got faster. My name's Dave Rogers. Alongside me once again, Neil Cottrell. Neil, after what seems like an absolute eternity away, it's great to be back here at the NBL.
It is. I think we've got a really good match lined up for us tonight. I think Loughborough have been a little bit unlucky in some of the fixtures that they've had so far this season. They're down at the bottom of the table, but I think they've certainly got the players to actually turn that around. And with the format that we have, with for every match that they win is a point towards their sort of end of season total, then they're still in the hunt for the top 4.
Oh, absolutely. Looking at the table, as I mentioned before, Birmingham Lions currently in second place behind the very impressive Surrey Smashers. Loughborough in 6th place, propping everyone up, but with 2 matches to go, still absolutely everything to play for. Birmingham, if they win 4-1 tonight, that guarantees their qualification, but Loughborough Sport certainly have lots to be positive about going into this match, Neil.
Yeah, they absolutely do. They've got some really experienced players, and you can see on the screen at the moment they've brought some travelling support with them as well to try and make the difference in turning these sort of really narrow 3-2 losses into victories.
Of course, the support making the world of difference. It's been a big week for Loughborough Sports. Actually, yesterday, their lacrosse team defeated a very impressive MIT, Massachusetts Institute of Technology team, who travelled all the way over for a match. So those guys riding high. Now let's have a look at the order of play then. We start off with the mixed doubles where Nika Rupanen and Alyssa Lim from Birmingham will face Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith. It's then over to women's singles. Fontaine Chapman will face Linda Zachiri, followed by women's doubles, Heather Olver, and a late change actually in the doubles. We'll come back to that. They'll face Chloe Birch and Jenny Walwork. In the men's singles, Ben Beckman will face Loughborough's Henry Herskinen, who comes back in following a bit of a stomach complaint. He's 2 from 2 in the competition so far, is the Loughborough man. And finally, Fox and Ridder of Birmingham Lions will face Loughborough Sports' Peter Briggs and Harley Towler, as the players are just making their way onto court now. First of all, Loughborough Sport being introduced in their purple kits with the white chevron. That travelling support, Neil, they're certainly giving it plenty of volume.
Yeah, like I said before, then obviously Loughborough feel that there's been something missing so far in their performances. So maybe having that little bit of extra support will spur them on and take them over the line tonight.
Well, they'll certainly be hoping that. Let's talk about the women's doubles, particularly the home pair. Heather Olver was due to be paired with Sarah Walker tonight. Sarah Walker has had to drop out with a sickness bug, so Jess Hopton retains her place. But had Walker come in for Hopton, that would have been Olver's 4th doubles partner in as many games. Birmingham not really having the balance there so far in that women's doubles, despite being 7 out of 9 in doubles overall.
No, that's right. It's very unusual to have these sort of unsettled doubles partnerships, but with the nature of the franchise system, then not many of the doubles partnerships that play with each other regularly on the competition circuit are actually in the same NBL franchises. So it was always going to be the case where there'll be a degree of mix and matching, but a lot of these players train together in Milton Keynes, so they're used to playing training matches with each other just to get themselves ready for sort of team competitions. Jess Hopton came in a couple of matches ago and actually did really well in the first game and actually took that, but lost last time out against Milton Keynes. So it'd be really interesting to see. She's got another chance back in the team again, so it'd be interesting to see how she gets on against Chloe Birch and Jenny Walwork.
Absolutely. There certainly haven't been a lot of constants in terms of personnel in this NBL so far, but what has been constant is the entertainment. And I'm sure this evening will be exactly the same as we see the Birmingham team there just leaving the field of play while Loughborough remain in a huddle there, clad in that purple. As we've spoken about already, Birmingham Lions second in the table. Every match has finished 3-2 so far. 2 wins and 1 loss, including an opening day victory here where myself and Neil talked you through a 3-2 victory over Derby where they were 2-0 down. So there's plenty of fighting spirit in this home team. There is.
The Birmingham Lions are particularly strong in the doubles event, so obviously the 3 doubles events in the match night, so if they can pick all 3, then they'll fancy the chances against any of the teams. It's going to be particularly difficult tonight because we've got, you know, a really informed ladies doubles pair of Chloe Birch and Jenny Woolwork, who are fresh off the back of winning the Romanian Open earlier this month. Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith in the mixed doubles as well would be a very formidable pair. But you know, the Birmingham Lions team have proven that they've got strong doubles, so they'll still fancy the chances even against decent opposition tonight. Absolutely. 7 out of 9, which was 6 out of 6 going into the last match. Their first defeats in the doubles coming against MK Badminton. You mentioned their Birch and Woolwork for Loughborough Sport. They are one of the doubles pairs that are used to playing together regularly, and that could make a difference when it comes to this NBL match. It could. They're going to be full of confidence as well. You know, they're coming back off the back of winning the Romanian Open, which is certainly Chloe Birch being one of the young up-and-coming players within GB Badminton. It was her first senior international title, whereas Jenny Woolwork has been around for a number of years and won sort of titles around Europe, you know, numerous, and been inside the top 10 in mixed doubles as well. So it's an interesting balance between, you know, the experience of Woolwork and the young fresh legs of Chloe Birch. So you know, Heather and Jess will have it all to do, but you know, Heather Olver in the ladies doubles is a force to be reckoned with herself. So you know, I think that could be quite an even game. Heather Olver, of course, one of the names from the Commonwealth Games, came home with an absolute, well, hatful of medals in what was a very successful Commonwealth Games. One of the competitions, of course, that really catches the public's eye, and she will be looking for another top performance here. She has been in every women's double match so far for the Birmingham team. Well, we're about 5 minutes away from the action. Let's just have a rundown of the order of play again. We start off with the mixed doubles, Nico Ruppinen and Alyssa Lim facing Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith, followed by women's singles, Fontaine Chapman will face Linda Zaccheri. Fontaine is actually going to be joining us in the commentary box later as well, which is going to be very entertaining, I'm sure. Women's doubles is the 3rd event. Heather Olver and Jess Hopton, who's come in for Sarah Walker, will face Chloe Birch and Jenny Woolwork. The 4th event will be the men's singles, Ben Beckman against the undefeated Henry Herskanen. And finally, the men's doubles, Gary Fox and Cone Ryder against Peter Briggs and Harley Towler. Once again, a shot of those travelling Loughborough fans, face paints and everything.
Officials for the first match, umpire Martin Davis, service judge Eunice Solman, and their team of line judges.
The match officials there getting a very grand introduction from the arena announcer ahead of this opening event. The mixed doubles, Nico Ruppinen and Alyssa Lim facing Loughborough's Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith. Neil, how do you see this one going?
On paper, this is potentially the closest and evenly matched game of the tie. So I think for Birmingham, we mentioned before about their strength in the doubles, it'd be really important for them to get off to a good start and take the first match in the tie. In previous games, they've looked unbeatable. In the last game against the traditionally unfancied Toby Penty and Jess Pugh, they came unstuck and lost their first game, which you know, with Toby sort of and Jess keeping up their winning run, an unlikely mixed partnership, but they did very well. And so it'll be interesting to see how they bounce back from that against Marcus and Lauren, who again, sort of GB players, really talented.
Well, of course, Toby and Jess have been one of the surprise packages of the NBL so far. We've been lucky enough to watch them, and they've had a few unlikely victories, and it's been very entertaining watching them. But this is all about Ruppinen and Lim against Ellis and Smith. If you're watching at home, we want you to get involved throughout the evening. Get yourselves onto Twitter and tweet us at NBL_official using the hashtag GameChanger. If you are watching the NBL for the first time, a very warm welcome. If you're returning, then a very warm welcome back. These matches, of course, best of 5, not best of 3. And first to 9 wins each set. If it goes to the 5th set, we have a first to 5 breaker. and you can win by 1 clear point, so it could be 9-8 as opposed to 10-8 or carrying on anywhere past that. There's also substitutions, timeouts, and of course the power plays with the pink shuttle. We've got all of that to look forward.
I think it'll be interesting in the games that Ruppinen and Lim have won so far. The attacking play of Ruppinen has been the deciding factor. So I think they'll be very keen to get Nico into the game pretty quickly and play a high pace. But that said, Marcus Ellis is one of the fastest players on the GB team. Very physical, and as is Lauren Smith from the back of the court as well. Really powerful player. So they'll certainly have the work cut out against the Loughborough pair.
I've just been told in my earpiece that the power play shuttle is no longer pink, but the power play still exists, so I'll let you know when they come in. Many of the game changers we've got here just a couple of minutes away. The final preparations taking place on court ahead of this opening event of Birmingham Lions versus Loughborough Sport. The mixed doubles, Nico Ruppinen and Alyssa Lim facing Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith. So as you mentioned, an interesting clash of styles. So far in this NBL, we've noticed the shuttle flying very flat, particularly early in these doubles matches. Do you think that'll be the same here? I
would think so. The general tactic with the mixed doubles is to try and stay as attacking as possible, try and keep the shuttle low over the net, and then when you get the opportunities to smash, then generally the male players towards the rear of the court and into the mid-court will be looking to put the shuttle down as hard as possible.
So Birmingham Lions in the red, predominantly red kits, and Loughborough, the away team, in purple with white trim. Smith to serve first. And the first point goes to Loughborough. Bit of a lack of communication there, Neil.
Well, I think it may have looked like that. I mean, Marcus was in really quickly into the mid-court and he was moving Nico around the back from one side to the other, saw the open space and managed to find it.
Shuttle just long there as Ruppinen struggles to find his range. Loughborough 2, Birmingham 0. Into the net from Smith, and an important point there for Birmingham, Neil, because this one was in danger of getting away from them.
Yeah, in this format where it's a point to rally, it's very quick, very easy to build momentum, and before you know it, the game's lost. That was a critical point for Birmingham to get themselves back into the set.
Bit of a loose one there from Lauren Smith. Birmingham Lions 2, Loughborough Sport 3. Ruppinen to serve.
It's going to be important for Alyssa to settle down into this game. She's not training full-time anymore as the other players are, so you know, could be sort of lacking a little bit of pace, a little bit of speed, so she needs the confidence to be playing well and so she's not an obvious weak link in the pair.
Really strong start here from the Loughborough pair. They lead 6-2. The first to 9, best of 5, remember. Marcus Ellis to serve. Good finish there from Alyssa Lim. Rupen also looking to mix up his range from the back of the court there, Neil.
Yeah, it's interesting. It seems like a tactic from the Loughborough pair to be moving Rupen from one side to the other, rear of the court. Alyssa did really well then to spot one that was slightly flatter, so was able to jump in and attack, and then kept the momentum and won the point.
3-6, Lim to serve. And a mistake from the serve straight into the net. Makes it 7-3 to Loughborough. Smith to serve. And that takes us to set point. 8-3. That's a lovely return from Rupen.
Yeah, all his returns so far have been pushed hard right down the middle of the court, but that time it just varies it, as you mentioned earlier, and just played a nice soft block into the mid-court.
And that's well left. 2 points in a row now for Birmingham Lions, but still game point 5-8. And that is the game to Loughborough. They take the first 9-5. Neil, what do you think the main difference between the two teams was there?
It's almost like the Loughborough pair were a little bit faster. They were looking for the shuttle a little bit earlier and just playing with a little bit more aggression. I think it's going to be really important now that the Birmingham pair can actually sort of stop that and actually impose themselves on the game a little bit more. It was almost like the Loughborough pair just steamrolled them in that first set, and they didn't really have any answers.
Well, they got off to a great start. They were 3-0 up, and it was in danger of getting away from Birmingham there, but they started to get back into it. They were using variety well, but Loughborough were just able to put the hammer down at the end, and they take the first 9-5 as the teams swap ends. What do you think the Birmingham pair need to do to get back into this in the second?
They just need to stay patient. I think that the more that Rupen can get his attacking play into the rallies, then that will enable the shuttle to be knocked off by Alyssa at the net.
Well, Birmingham strike first. Rupen to serve. 1-0. And that's the first time we've seen him finish with a smash. Really releasing that power from the middle of the court to Love.
It was a nice idea then, just to try and vary the pace a little bit, but just didn't quite catch it. Said earlier, the attacking force of the Loughborough pair is actually quite intimidating. They're looking for the shuttle really early, both at the back of the court and in the mid-court, so it's actually becomes quite difficult to defend.
And difficult to really get any momentum or game plan going. Just out there from Lim, it looked like a lovely disguised drop shot. Just to the left of the line, 3-all. And this time Rupen fires wide. And Loughborough lead for the first time in the second, 4-3. So we've seen a little bit more variety from Rupen in this second, but he's come unstuck a few times.
Well, the problem is that he's throwing his best stuff in there, and the Loughborough pair are still sort of scrambling them back and keeping themselves in the rallies. So it's really important that the error rate is reduced, and they just try and keep the pressure on a little bit.
Oh, that's wonderful defence from the Loughborough pair. No sooner do you say Rupenen's throwing all of his best shots at them, and they just come back like that.
And in fairness, he was sort of changing the angles as well, so it wasn't a typical smash that he was just hitting down to make it easy for the defence, but the defence of the Loughborough pair was just too strong. Really great shot from Lauren Smith to win the point.
Smith serves just long to stem the tide. Loughborough were 3-1 down in this second. They now lead 6-4. Rupenen to serve for the Lions. But once again, Smith reacts the fastest, so 7-4, Loughborough now lead.
Again, you just sense the body language of the Birmingham pair a little bit. They don't really know what to do. They're throwing all their best stuff at Loughborough, and it's coming back with interest.
And that's called out, so that is the second to Loughborough. Having taken the first 9-5, they take the second 9-4. And the team in purple look pretty comfortable at the moment, Neil.
They do. It was almost like the confidence has just been sapped out of the Birmingham pair. They're trying things, and they're trying to mix it up a little bit and trying to do something a bit different to try and break the flow of the game. But at the moment, that's just meaning that there's a few more errors coming, and the Loughborough pair have got answers to pretty much everything.
Well, they took quite a high-risk tack to that second, didn't they? As you say, Rupenen really trying to mix everything up in terms of his pace, his power, his length. And he came a little bit unstuck there. Do you think they have to continue with that tactic or try and change it again in the third?
A little bit of both, really. They've got to try and keep mixing it up to try and make it as difficult as possible for the Loughborough pair, but ultimately they've got to reduce the number of errors that's actually happening.
Play.
Well, Loughborough Sport lead Birmingham Lions 2-0 in the mixed doubles. Remember, best of 5. So this is a must-win for the team in red. And that's a good start this time. Rupenen mixes it up. Lovely drop shot. Smith can't quite get there. And Birmingham Lions get the first point of the third game.
That's really the first time that Rupenen's really committed to a smash. He's been hitting smashes before, almost like expecting them to come back, but he leapt off the ground there and hit a really good cross-court angle at Smith, who couldn't return it.
Service over.
And then spoils it by serving into the net. We've lost the scoreboard for a second, but it's Birmingham Lions 2, Loughborough Sport 1 in the third. And it's back again. Ellis to serve.
I think what I mentioned earlier about Alyssa not being sort of training full-time with the squad at the moment is sort of starting to show a little bit, because the Loughborough pair are playing so fast. She just seems to be slightly off the pace, and she's got to be in the game to enable the pair to compete.
Well, Nico Rupenen going through a lot of work during that rally. Eventually, he mixes up one angle too many, and Loughborough lead for the first time in this third, 3-2.
Yeah, it definitely seems like an area that the Loughborough pair are trying to exploit by getting Rupenen into one side and then cross-court lifting it into the other, so he's having to travel the full width of the court, which is meaning that he's not able to set himself for a really powerful smash, enabling the defence to be a little bit more positive.
Well, Birmingham have called for their timeout. This is a real make or break timeout, because whatever the coach has got to say here, it really needs to spur them on, because this one is in danger of getting away from them.
Yeah, looking at Lorraine Cole, the coach's body language when she's talking to Alyssa, then she's looking at trying to get her a little bit, to play a little bit softer at the net, so rather than trying to sort of swing off the powerful shots from Loughborough, just try and take the pace out of it to try and get the lift up to Nico, and so he can start hitting down again. Well,
during the net exchanges, she's actually looked like she's got a nice touch, but as soon as any pace has been injected by Loughborough, she struggled reflex-wise a little bit, but we're back underway.
Perfect response there. Nice soft hands at the net. Manages to take the net cord for a winner.
Exactly what they needed. The first point following the timeout, 3-all. But Loughborough strikes straight back.
I mean, Marcus is really quick in on the return of the serve, and you know, it was a particular problem for Alyssa in the last match against MK that she had a couple of service faults which seemed to lose a little bit of confidence in the serve.
Well, the team's exchanging points since the break. 4-all now in the third. Rupanen to serve. Talking about body language, Alyssa Lim there just tapping herself on the temple. She knows she has to cut these mistakes out. Loughborough leading 5-4. And this time the smash comes off for Rupanen. Lots of space, lots of court to aim for, and he's executed that really well. 5-6.
Yeah, he went back really quickly from the flick serve. Nice short action, and was able to put the smash into the side where Marcus had just left.
Well, in this match, I make that the second point he's won with a smash. He's just not been able to release his power at all. Loughborough done very well to stifle him. This time it's Lim's turn, and she levels it up at 6-all.
Yeah, the actual racket movement then was a lot shorter, means it's just easier for her to time the shot off the Loughborough power.
Well, just as Birmingham Lions were looking to build some momentum and close in on the third. A mistake from the serve hands Loughborough the initiative, and here comes the power play. If you're unfamiliar with it, this shuttle is worth 2 points to Loughborough. Still 1 to Birmingham, but this could be the match. And the service goes long. How often do we see an uncharacteristic mistake on the power play? And that makes it very interesting indeed. 7-all here now. Remember, this is a must-win for Birmingham. They've gone for their power play, but they can't have their power play in the same set as Loughborough, so this is just a regulation shuttle. The score's 7-all. Sharp work at the net there from Smith makes it 8-7. This is match point. And a great way to finish. Marcus Ellis smashes cross court. Lim can't return. And Loughborough take the third set and the match, 9-7, 9-4, 9-5, and that is an impressive start for the away team, Neil.
Absolutely. The Birmingham pair didn't really get into the pace of the match at all. I think the tactics that the Loughborough pair came in with were absolutely spot on, moving Rupanen around the court and then looking to exploit Alyssa and play the pace through her. And it just meant that she wasn't quite at the level that was required and just had a few too many errors.
Well, the word that really sort of hits home for me there that you kept talking about was pace. Loughborough really looked to kind of inject extra rhythm into it, and in a game where the start is really important, that ultimately made the difference.
Absolutely. I mean, pace in badminton terms isn't just about how hard you hit the shuttle, it's about how much you're hunting the shuttle down, and especially in the mid-court and around the net area. And it's also, you'll notice that the Loughborough pair were almost, their body language was quick in between the points, and they looked like they wanted to get on with it, and that builds that momentum, and it's actually quite intimidating for the other pair to actually deal with.
Well, they certainly did find it hard going. So after event number 1, the mixed doubles, Loughborough lead 1-0. Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith defeating Nico Rupanen and Alyssa Lim 9-5, 9-4, 9-7 to give Loughborough the lead. Next up is the women's singles. Birmingham Lions will be represented by Fontaine Chapman, and Loughborough will be represented by Linda Zachiri. We've seen both of these players in the NBL this season. Neil, how do you see this one going?
Well, there's about 30 places difference in the world ranking, so on paper you would fancy Linda Zachiri against Fontaine, but Fontaine's playing well at the moment. She's had a few good results in the European events, so well, I think we'll be fancying the chances against the game if she can start well.
Make some noise for your women's singles players from Loughborough, Linda Zachiri.
Here's Zachiri being introduced now. Great applause from the Loughborough faithful. The last time you and I saw her was in Milton Keynes, wasn't it? Against Milton Keynes, she was 2-0 up in her singles match there and managed to lose 3-2. It was a great match, but she's still looking for her first win in the NBL. Chapman got her first win. That was against Liz Can, so she'll be looking to build momentum there. As you say, 30 places in the world rankings, but in terms of NBL, Chapman will be looking to build some momentum.
Absolutely, you know, Fontaine is more than capable of beating Linda. You know, she'll be full of confidence, like you said, after winning her first NBL fixture last time out against Milton Keynes. Then she'll be she's played 3 games now, so she'll be used to the NBL format. So, you know, sometimes that can be the difference between the difference in world ranking. So, you know, she'll be right up for this one in front of the home crowd and looking to get a good start.
She certainly will. I do apologise. It was against Surrey where she lost 3-2, not Milton Keynes. Of course, we are here in the Barclaycard Arena, home of the Yonex All England, where Fontaine Chapman did perform. She'll be joining us later in the commentary box as well. She's on screen right there. Her opposition today, Linda Zachiri, Bulgarian international, left-handed, 5'3", but very quick around the court.
She is a very strong player. The left-handed singles players generally can find a few unusual angles, so the players are often quite hard to play against. So, but Fontaine will be well used to playing against players of this level because she competes regularly on the international circuit, so won't be fazed by the situation at all.
I still think no matter what the sport it is, left-handers should have their own leagues. It's not fair. They always seem to have an advantage, whether it's cricket, boxing, whatever. But Linda Zachiri from Loughborough looking for her first NBL win against Fontaine Chapman. The Birmingham Lions, fresh off the back of a victory, her first out of 3. She'll be looking to level things up for Birmingham Lions, who trail 1-0 following the mixed doubles win for Loughborough's Marcus Ellis and Lauren Smith. A few last-minute preparations. The crowd falling silent for a minute in respect of the players. But they've certainly got behind this NBL format, no matter where it's been at any of the 6 teams. This is the penultimate round, of course, before the finals day. Ticketing information is available on the Badminton England website. Remember, we want you to get involved, so why not jump on Twitter and tweet us at NBL_official using the hashtag GameChangers.
Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Zachiri to serve. Level. Play.
It's a confirmation there that Zachiri will serve first. Well, a tentative start from both girls there, but well finished by Chapman for the first point.
Yeah, I think Fontaine's chance really is to play sort of good angles, get to the shuttle nice and early and be as attacking as possible, and she certainly started as she meant to go on there.
Pouncing on the short shuttle there was Chapman, 2-0.
Service over.
But that one drops a little short of the net, and Zachiri is off the mark, 1-2. that levels things up. Chapman just looking to move Zachary to the back of the court. Shuttle goes long, 2-all.
I think that's the danger, that, you know, the reason for a couple of the sort of uncharacteristic errors is that unless the shuttle is right in the corner, then Zachiri's got the skill to actually put the shuttle on the floor from wherever she is on the court. So that was a really good shot then. It's a good example of the angle that we were talking about earlier, that you know, if Fontaine can play good length and get the short shots from Zachary, then she's got the skills and the height to actually punish her.
Chapman unhappy with the shuttle there, changes it over. She serves 3-all. Zachary there seems to be a little bit flat-footed.
Yeah, whether it's almost the reverse of the mix. It's like Fontaine has started with a little bit of momentum and is sort of is looking upbeat and like she really wants to take the game to Zachary, whereas Zachary is a little bit more laid back and letting the shuttle come on, and there's a few errors that are creeping in.
Well, speaking of errors, hammers that one into the net to give Chapman a 2-point advantage in this first game. She needs 5-3 in this best of 5 first to 9 encounter. Again, a bit loose from Fontaine there.
4-5.
This time it's the opposite corner that she's a little bit wide on, 4-5.
It's the right idea though, trying to get it deep into that corner, because that will enable her to set up the rest of the point. So I think she'll still sort of continue with that tactic, but just needs to cut down the errors.
Another error from Chapman, falling short with the drop shot. Having really done all the hard work, she'd moved Zachary around well. 5-all, Zachary to serve for Loughborough. This time Chapman looks to unleash down the line, but it's wide. Another mistake gifts the point to Zachary. She leads 6-5 now. Oh, lovely angle change there from Chapman. Great response to the mistake, 6-all.
Yeah, really good shot there from Chapman. Just cut across the reverse slice, which meant the shuttle was dying on the other side of the net, so really good deception.
Point goes to Zachary. Chapman hits the shuttle long again. (7-6), Zachary to serve. And this time it's Zachary that knocks it long. Interesting with Zachary, she's mixed her serves up quite a lot, hasn't she?
Yeah, traditionally, ladies singles is quite often a high serve, and it has been for a number of years. That the low serve, which is more common in the men's singles, which we'll see later on, just almost like starts the rally a little bit more attacking way, and that's clearly what Zachary wants to try and do.
Into the net from Zachary, which gives a set point to Fontaine Chapman, 8-7. And well watched wide, good composure from the Birmingham Lion. Fontaine Chapman takes the first 9-7, and that is just the start to this match Sheila wanted.
Absolutely. I think that last rally summed up what Fontaine was trying to do during the whole of the game. She's trying to play a good length straight, and then when she sees the open court, then she's trying to hit the cross-court one. And in that rally, she actually stayed a little bit more patient and was prepared to work the point, and then ultimately forced the error from Zachary.
Because even in this shortened version of the game, patience is really key.
It is, because it's absolutely a crime if you're spilling loads of errors to give your opponent easy points. Even in normal sort of format up to 21, but when it's only up to 9, then it's even more critical.
So 9-7, it's pretty evenly balanced. What will, either player be looking to change or keep the same as we move forward in this match?
I think the last rally should really give Fontaine a clue as to the way that she's got to approach the point. She's just not got to panic, but she has to play a decent length and then look for opportunities when they're there. Zachary is going to carry on playing the same way because she likes to hit winners and will try and be deceptive and put the shuttle down whenever she can.
Well, the first point of the second, Zachary hits long, so it goes to Chapman. But that is well watched from the Loughborough Sport player. Long from Chapman, so 1-all. Well watched again from Zachary. Just pulled out at the last second. 3 points so far in this second game, all of them from shuttles hit long or wide. Zachary leads 2-1 and will serve. Now to Linda Zachary, all of her points coming from Chapman errors. She'll need to cut that out, Neil.
Yeah, it's almost like Zachary just increased her pace a little bit. She's a little bit quicker onto the shuttle, meaning that Chapman's actually got a little bit less time to hit the spots that she's aiming for.
Important point there, you feel, for Fontaine Chapman.
It's almost like if Fontaine doesn't make an error, then she wins the point. It's, the errors will come from Zachary. She can keep pushing and keep herself in the points.
But that's a great response from Zachary. Pouncing on the loose serve from Chapman. And rebuilding her 2-point lead now, 4-2. Make that 5-2. I wouldn't be surprised if we have the timeout soon. And there it is, actually. Yeah, Chapman not having the best start to this. It's nothing really that Zachary seems to be doing better, but Chapman seems to be just gifting her points.
Yeah, as I said before, I think Zachary's just a little bit quicker onto the shuttle. She's actually, rather than letting it come onto her and play the shots around the court, then she's just been a little bit more aggressive in her movement, taking the shot a fraction earlier. And then the result of that just means that Fontaine Chapman's under a little bit more pressure, and that extra little bit of pressure has resulted in a few errors. So she's right back in the game then.
Well, that's what Zachary had to do, because we commented in the first that she was a little bit flat-footed, almost lethargic. Seems as though she might have needed to get that first game out of her system. She's certainly in control here in the second. Zachary for Loughborough leads 5-2. But this time the shuttle drops in. Once again, we see the first point following the timeout going to the player that called it, 3-5.
Maybe that will give Fontaine a bit more momentum now. She can get herself right back into this set.
Service over.
Chapman finds the net.
6-3.
Just trying a little bit too hard to mix up her angles.
Yeah, it was a good shot from Zachary. She had her quite deep in the back of the court, so perhaps it wasn't there to really go forward with a good certainty of success.
Great response though from Chapman. Zachary stretches down to her left but can't quite get there. 4-6.
And Fontaine's actually got quite a good smash, and I think she possibly should be looking to use it a little bit more when she gets that opportunity.
Zachary watches the service, but it drops in. Just 1 point in it now, 5-6. Make that 7-6 to the Loughborough player as she looks to square things up here. Linda Zachary now just 2 points away from taking the second. Well, Zachary hits wide. That's the first time we've really seen any explosion of power from her. Perhaps just trying to let Chapman know that she has got it in the locker. Cross court again from Chapman, drops wide, which gives us game point to Linda Zachary.
I think perhaps she's overplaying that cross-court slice a little bit. I'd have fancied a nice straight smash down the line first, and then that might have opened the court up a little bit for her. I think just to vary it a little bit more.
Zachary serving for the set. But makes the mistake to let Chapman back in. 7-8. Chapman goes for the power play. So whatever happens, this will be the final point of the second set. Will it be Chapman or will it be Zachary? And it's Chapman. Huge play, great decision from the Birmingham Lion. She trailed 8-6, won the point to make it 8-7, then called the power play. Great NBL badminton there from Fontaine Chapman.
No, that's fantastic. That's a real good example of how these players have learned how to play the NBL system. Perfect timing to take the power play, and it's really paid advantage to Fontaine and put himself in a really strong position.
Well, something that we always talk about in sport on any level is momentum. And really, Fontaine spent so much of that second set on the back foot. Zachary was playing much better badminton. All of a sudden, she got a roll on, and that is a hammer blow to the Loughborough player as we move forward in this match.
Yeah, you get the feeling if Fontaine can start well in this set, then you know, Zachary may well struggle to stay with her.
Service over. 1-love.
But once again, Chapman makes the mistake. The drop shot just short of the net, and Zachary takes the first point of the third. But that's a lovely smash from Chapman. She cuts loose that right hand, goes cross court.
Great smash there. I think the shot leading up to that, they're playing it really flat and deep into Zachary's backhand corner. It just meant that the lift was a little bit short and gave her a perfect opportunity to hit that smash.
Oh, wonderful rally. Wonderful rally. Great work by Chapman. Zachary moved her around, got the rub of the green off the net, but Chapman kept her composure, and all of a sudden things are happening for the Birmingham Lion.
Yeah, she did really well to hang into that point, because, you know, a couple of occasions it looked like it was all over, but then sort of kept her composure, cut the errors down and took the point.
Oh, once again, all of a sudden she looks a different player. The mistakes from the second set have disappeared, and Fontaine Chapman leads 3-1 in the third. This time it's Zachary who calls the timeout. She's really on the back foot here. These are key moments, Neil.
They are. I think, you know, Andy Wood's a really experienced coach. He's worked with Gail Ems and Nathan Robertson in their Olympic success. So, you know, if anyone knows how to actually get Zachary back into the game, then it will be Andy. I fail to see what he's going to say. I mean, I think Fontaine is a force at the moment, and providing that Fontaine can keep that pressure on her, then it's going to be very difficult for Zachary to dig herself out. She's going to have to start hitting a few winners and actually try and expose Fontaine around the court a little bit.
This great run continues for Chapman. This time it's a drop shot. Zachary just can't get there. Flat-footed once again, 4-1.
You can see her body language is very positive. There's a clenched fist at the end of the point as well. It means that she's right up for this and looking to take it.
She's even reacting to the lost points differently now as well. You see, with the frustration has kind of crept out of her body now, and she's sort of wondering, oh no, I did that not the way I wanted to, and just thinking about winning the next point as opposed to the one that she's just lost. Still, that's 2 in a row now for Zachary, closing the gap to 1 point. Remember, she has to win this set as the Loughborough singles player to stay in this match. Oh, beautifully done there from Zachary. We spent a lot of time talking about Chapman mixing it up, but Zachary there, lovely disguised shot from the left-hander.
Yeah, she kept her composure well. Again, had a couple of opportunities to win the point, but didn't go for too much, so that she was at risk of an error. She is a very deceptive, talented player, so, you know, it's always in a locker, that sort of shot, so Fontaine's got to really dig in now.
Well, all of a sudden, it's 4-all here. As that drops in, these are the things that seem to be going against Fontaine in the first two, going with her here. She sneaks back into the lead, 5-4. A mistake from the serve lets Zachary back in at 5-5. Fontaine reaches for one, but just snatches at it. This has been a great fight back from Zachary in this third set. After a lightning start from Chapman, she leads 6-5 now. Make that 7-5.
I think the key to this is Fontaine's errors. If she can control them, control the rallies, then she's got a chance here. But you know, if she can't, then you've got to fancy Zachary taking the set.
Well, Zachary has opted for her power play here, so this is essentially set point. But it goes into the net. She reaches at it despairingly with her left hand, but can't get enough on it. Chapman can breathe again in this third. She still trails, but only 6-7 with the serve. But Zachary in full control of that rally, moving Chapman from right to left. Smashes cross court to set up a genuine set point now, 8-6. Remember, this was the score in the second before Chapman came back to win. 7-8. Good composure there from Fontaine.
Yeah, she was nice and early onto the shuttle there and just changed the direction so that Zachary was having to go the cross-court angles and hit a good line.
And that's wide from Zachary. So we go down to the final point of the third set. It is set point for Linda Zachary, match point for Fontaine Chapman. And what a way to finish. Fontaine Chapman going across court, coming from 6-8 down in the third set to win 9-8, to complete a three-set win, 9-8, 9-8, 9-7, and that is a big win for Birmingham Lions.
Yeah, that's great for the tie. It's got the fans back in, energised again. And she looks a different player. When she plays her aggressive and positive way, then she looks like a real force to be reckoned with. And almost like when she goes back into a shell and tries to be a little bit more safe, then that's when the errors come. So I think she could take a lot of positives from that, being a much higher ranked player, and take it into the rest of the season.
That is an excellent win for Fontaine Chapman against Linda Zachary. Once again, a recap of the score. It was a three-set victory for Fontaine Chapman, 9-8, 9-8, 9-7. Great character from her too, particularly we commented in the first and the second, she was making a lot of mistakes, but she hung in there. It's easy to let your head drop when things like that are happening to you.
It is, and again, if you're playing against a player that you've never beaten before, then there's all those doubts going through your head as well as to, you know, whether you can actually do it this time. But you know, she should take a lot of positive and a lot of confidence from that. That you know, she hung in when it was tight. You know, yes, she made a few errors along the way, but managed to sort of play more winners than errors and actually came out on top.
And also, following the mistakes, to actually hold her composure and come from set point 8-6 down in the second and the third, that's got to do wonders for her psychologically.
Absolutely, you know, she'll believe that she's good enough to play these this level of sort of ladies singles, and you know, in the rest of the season and the other sort of European events, there's the World Team Championships that's coming up shortly, and then hopefully for Birmingham in the actual finals as well. So, yeah, very positive and really good for the tie.
So we are 2 events down. It opened up with a Loughborough victory in the mixed doubles. Marcus Ellis and Lawrence Smith defeated Nico Rupanen and Alyssa Lim 9-5, 9-4, 9-7. And then the second event was the one you've just watched, the women's singles. Fontaine Chapman of Birmingham Lions beating Linda Zachary 9-7, 9-8, 9-8 to make it 1-all. Next up, we have the women's doubles. The team on your screen right now are the Loughborough pair of Chloe Birch and Jenny Woolwork. Their opposition from Birmingham Lions, Heather Olver and Jess Hopton. Another really intriguing match here. Neil, how do you see it going?
Again, on paper, you'd fancy the Loughborough pair because, you know, they're a regular partnership. Well, they certainly have been the sort of the back half of this season, coming off the back of winning the Romanian International last weekend. So they're going to be the pair with the momentum and the confidence. Jess Hopton, another young player entering the NBL, one of the up-and-coming juniors, has already played a couple of times with Heather Olver, who's the experienced player on court. And so it'll be interesting to see, you know, can Jess Hopton handle the big match again and keep it in for Birmingham.
Well, you talk about regular pairings and can that play a part. Chloe Birch and Jenny Woolwork, of course, playing together regularly. Heather Olver has been an ever-present for Birmingham, but Jess Hopton is her third doubles partner. She would have had a fourth doubles partner had Sarah Walker been fit. Really interesting approach to women's doubles.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned at the top of the stream that these girls are used to playing with many different partners because, you know, generally there are patterns of play within sort of top-level doubles, so the players generally know where they're going to go when they're in defence and when they're in attack, and what to do sort of when serving and returning and that sort of thing. So, you know, it's not really an issue. Obviously, there's more of an advantage if you're used to playing with another partner, because intuitively you know where they're going to go, what shots they're going to play, so you can start to look for things off that. And that's the advantage that the Loughborough pair will have. But, you know, as far as doubles players go, it's a very even game.
Well, we certainly have quality all over the court here, and one of the things that struck me in particular with women's doubles has been the sheer variety of the play. It's not necessarily as systematic as mixed doubles, where you generally have the men at the back of the court, the women at the front of the court. We see all four players all over the place. Yeah,
I think the way that ladies doubles has changed in the world game over the last number of years is that it's probably one of the hardest physically to for the players to actually play. The level of defensive play from these ladies is phenomenal. Because they're used to getting returning the smashes from the men in the mixed doubles, then, you know, their defences are so strong, and the problems come where their attack is slightly less powerful, and so the rallies do tend to go on for quite some time, and it's an attritional battle.
Attrition is the key. Loughborough in purple, Birmingham in red. Loughborough to serve first. Well, you spoke about the rallies generally being longer. What a way to start. Well, both teams will have certainly felt each other out after that one. What can you garner from that start?
Well, we're in for quite a long, exciting game by the look of it. You know, we said that the rides are long, but they're certainly not slow, so that's going to take an awful lot out of these ladies, but they're very fit sort of athletes and ready for these sort of battles.
Shuttle goes long there from the Loughborough pair, locking us up at 1-1 early in the first set of this third event, the women's doubles. Heather Olver to serve. Well, a really impressive start from both teams. That was a great smash down the line. But as you say, if it carries on like this, it could be a long match.
Indeed. It just makes it even more important that when there's an opportunity at the net, then the players are actually taking it and winning the point from there, because, you know, the defences are so strong from both the pairs, then you know, you've got to take the opportunities when they arise.
Well, Birch certainly did there. Smash down the line, and she's capitalised on that one too. Short on the return from Hopton. And Birch did not need a second invitation to make it 3-1 to Loughborough. Birch once again smashed down the line. Hopton gone through quite a lot of good work in defence already, but she'll be disappointed with that one.
Yeah, I mean, it was the lift was a little bit short, meaning that the smash was a little bit more effective. So I think they've got to be certain that when they're playing the defence and that they're knocking the shot to the back of the court, that it goes there, exactly there. Otherwise, it could be trouble from the net.
And this time it's Hopton that finds the space. 3-4.
It's an interesting contrast, because obviously on both doubles teams, and you've got an experienced player and a young up-and-coming player who, the young players are playing extremely quickly, and they're covering a lot of court, hitting the shuttles a lot harder, whereas the more experienced ones are sort of dictating play and actually controlling what's happening in the rallies, as Heather did there, sort of coming in to make a great kill.
4-all.
Yes, Heather Olver this time seized the opportunity. No returning that one. 4-all, really intriguing start here to this women's doubles. Hopton with great work, doing really well to sort of create space in the court and mixing it up.
Yeah, that was a really good shot. It's very easy when you're defending in doubles just to get sort of dragged into just whacking the shuttle back as hard as you can. But to see an open space and have the skill to actually knock the shuttle into it, it's a rare skill, and a really good shot then from Hopton.
But Loughborough strike right back. Woolwork pouncing on that loose serve. Straight at the body of Olver, no returning that, 5-all. Woolwork just snatching at that one. Birmingham Lions take a 6-5 lead. It's often an overused word in sport, but I think the only way we could sum up the start here is frenetic. It's just all over the place.
Yeah, obviously both pairs are really up for this, with the match being tied as well. So getting off to the first good start in this first set is really important.
Loughborough doing really well to control things there. Perhaps that's the first time we've seen a little bit of the difference between the two teams. A couple of communication breakdowns there for Birmingham, going for the same shuttles.
Yeah, and not going for the same shuttle as well at the same time, and that certainly was pounced upon by Loughborough there. Some really good, powerful play from Chloe Birch in the rear of the court, opening it up for Jenny to hit the winner.
Score 7-6.
Score correction there from the umpire in my ears. 7-6. The Lions lead. Make that 7-all as Woolwork hammers through Hopton.
Interesting, it looked like Hopton was trying to play that cross-court block again, and Woolwork had already started to move across, so just shows how quickly that she can read the game and actually control what's happening.
Great work from Hopton. She's had some absolute flashes of brilliance in this first set, and that is set point to Birmingham Lions.
It was interesting then that Heather played a really good attacking drive and then just hung off the net, whereas normally she'd be looking to go in and look to try and kill the next one. As the rally progressed, then she saw the same opportunity, did it, and that created the winner.
Clench of the fist there from Woolwork. It's the mistake from Olver makes it 8-all, so this is the set point. Remember, it is the first team to 9. You do not need to win by 2 clear points in the NBL. Birmingham Lions 8, Loughborough Sport 8. As Birch hits into the net, Olver high fives Hopton, and Birmingham Lions take the first set 9-8. And really, having watched it, that could have been the only scoreline.
Absolutely. You know, a really good advert for ladies doubles. You know, very evenly matched. I've been very impressed with how Birmingham have taken the Loughborough pair on, really. It would have been very easy for them to be dominated by the informed pair at the moment, but you know, Hopton and Olver, they look like they're enjoying themselves. They obviously get on, and you know, and Heather's and Jess rather is benefiting from Heather's experience and leadership.
Well, Hopton and Olver, they've gone after Loughborough, really, and as we've seen in NBL in general, that really pays dividends, doesn't it? It does not pay to be passive.
It doesn't, provided you can keep the error rate down, which has been fairly even across both pairs. And certainly I think the Birmingham pair deserved just to edge that first set.
So Hopton to serve first in the second. Birmingham Lions lead 1-0. And they take the first point of the second set. Still Hopton to serve. Loughborough really showing some of that power on the court there. It wasn't the smash that won the point, but really trying to impose themselves early in this second.
Yeah, the rally's really even until the lift goes. It's a fraction short, and that just invites Chloe Birch to hit that really powerful smash down, and then Jenny was all over the net then to play the winner.
Well, Loughborough looking to turn the screw, but Hopton plays another fantastic defensive shot. She was under a fair amount of pressure then, but once again saw the space, and that's a great shot.
Yeah, that's the way that the Birmingham pair have to play. You know, clearly the Loughborough pair are a little bit stronger from the back of the court, and will hit the shuttle through unless Birmingham pair can find some angles in defence.
This time Hopton finds the net to level things up at 2-all. Well, that's acrobatic from Hopton, but it's not enough to return the shuttle. Birch wins the point. Loughborough sneak one into the lead. So Heather Olver's just down adjusting her laces. This women's doubles match does not seem to let up.
No, and you can imagine it's going to be the same all the way through. I think in the shortened format you can afford to just blast the intensity a little bit more than you can over a longer duration game. So expect it to be fast and furious to the end.
Loughborough seemed to fail to capitalise on a big chance at the net there.
Yeah, and again, you know, Jess Hopton played a good angle, sort of almost like turning the point of attack away from her, and that just sort of threw the Loughborough pair a little bit. And then, you know, obviously they didn't actually take the point when they possibly should have.
3-all in the early stages of this second set. Hopton serves. Hopton finds the net again. Couple of mistakes that she'll be disappointed with, especially considering some of the fantastic work she's gone through so far during this event. Birch and Walwork lead Hopton and Olver 4-3 in the second. make that 5-3. Birch smashing to the centre of the court there, no returning that one.
Yeah, another good example of the power that Chloe Birch possesses from the rear of the court, which is something they'll certainly look to build their rallies on.
This time it's Heather Olver who pounces on the short one.
Just like with anything, the more that the experienced players can get involved in the game and actually control what's happening, as Heather did then, the more successful they'll be. So it'll be interesting to see if that maintains.
Into net that time from Holver, so Loughborough regain their 2-point lead. Yeah, Hopton seems to have gone through a lot of the work for Birmingham, but more than holding her own at the moment. But this time, Wallwork pounces.
Just missed the line. I think without the net cord that would have been a winner, but just a brush on the top of the tape, it just sent it wide of that sideline. Not a popular decision with the Loughborough fans anyway.
Well, that's a great finish by Olver, but what about the defensive work from Birmingham earlier on in that rally?
Well, it was an amazing backhand defensive shot that just completely changed the angle and the point of attack, which just opened the court up for the Birmingham pair to take the point.
So 6-all now. Despite Loughborough really upping the power in this second, Birmingham have levelled things up. But the shuttle finds the net, so Birch and Wallwork creep back into the lead, 7-6. Olver there, she'll be disappointed with that one. Defending in the rally, but that's bread and butter for her at the net.
Yeah, the idea was good. You know, she played the attacking defensive shot, moved into the net looking for the kill, but in fairness to Birch, she actually managed to play, you know, a quite controlled shot, which made it really difficult.
So set point to Loughborough here. And what a way to finish. Loughborough on the front foot. 4 smashes in a row. Eventually, the Birmingham defence crumbles. And Loughborough take the second, 9-6.
I think certainly towards the back half of that game, the Birmingham defence was a little bit more defensive. It was almost the smash would come down and then there'd be a long defensive shot, giving them another opportunity to hit another smash. Beginning of the set and certainly towards the end of the first set, we were trying to play the defence a little bit more attacking and look to try and change the rally a little bit, whereas it was almost just prolonging the rally towards the end of that set.
Well, Loughborough really seemed to turn the screw and up the power for the majority of that second set. Certainly for the first part of it, Birmingham defended exceptionally well. Do you think when you're constantly under that kind of pressure defensively, does fatigue start to come into play?
It does, and almost maybe a little bit of panic as well. If you're losing all of the rallies when you're defending, then you need to try and do something a little bit different. That was a real strength of the Birmingham pair in the first, the first half of the game, but they sort of lost their way a little bit towards the end. So Birmingham are going to be successful. They've got to get that back.
So Wallwork serves first in the third. It is 1-all. And Loughborough pick up where they left off. Wallwork pouncing on the short shuttle. She wants a change of shuttles herself as Heather Olver hands the damaged one over. 1-0 Loughborough lead. And into the net from Loughborough to level things up at 1-1. And it gives me great pleasure to be joined in the commentary box by Fontaine Chapman. Can you hear us, Fontaine?
Hello, I can hear you.
Brilliant news. Congratulations on your win earlier.
Thank you very much.
As the shuttle goes into the net, so Loughborough lead 2-1 in the third. Well, first of all, talk us through that 3-set victory. They were all a little bit close.
Yeah.
How did it feel out there tonight?
Yeah, brilliant. I mean, I love playing in this arena, and you know, we're only on a section of it, but you still feel how big it is, and the scale of the arena that we're playing in it. But it's amazing. I knew that, you know, I've got a good game to play in this arena, and me and Linda have played each other before, so I knew that it was going to be a tough match, and I just had to hang in there.
All work there, just getting the luck off the net. 3-1 Loughborough lead in the third. So talk to me about calling the power play when you're 8-7 down in the second. That's a huge call, but it paid dividends.
Yeah, I think sometimes you just have to take risks, and you know, if it wasn't going to pay off, then you know, you just kind of reset and get on with it. But if it paid off, then it meant I was going to win the set, and that would take me 2 sets up. So, oh wow.
That's a wonderful shot.
I think that's 3 times she's done that now, isn't it?
Yeah, she's really looking for that, just to turn that defence away from her, because you know, the Loughborough pair are just absolutely panning everything down. So
yeah.
It's a really good idea for that, and that's how they're going to have to play if they're going to be successful.
Well, the Birmingham pair on screen there, just having a bit of a chat. You could see from the smile on the face, Hopton absolutely loved that one. Absolutely relentless pressure on Hopton. I think the Loughborough pair were angry with her for that last shot. Brilliant response from Birch and Walwork.
4-2.
Loughborough lead 4-2 in the third. Walwork to serve. Jess Long there from Walwork as she spotted the space at the back of the court. Neil, this match shows no sign of slowing up at all.
Absolutely. We did say at the start it was going to be very competitive. You know, the first rally set the tone for what the match was going to be like. So, you know, both pairs are really up for it and playing some good stuff.
As Birch pounces on the serve there. So, Fontaine, in terms of playing up to 9 points, how does that affect the way that you go about it? Because this match has been absolutely 100 miles an hour from the start. Yeah,
I think it's really important that you get you know, the best possible start you can, because there's so few points that you can mess around with. You can't afford to give away just cheap points by playing, you know, 1 or 2 shots. The rallies have got to go on, and you've really got to work your opponent. And both sets of girls are doing this really well. I think it's crucial that you know, if you get the attack, then you're really going for it, but you're still being patient. So you're not just going to kind of whack it as hard as you can and hope for the best. You know, it's got to be quite a good thought process through it. And both sets of girls really seem to be doing that. I think Heather's quite good at her placement of shots. She knows where she wants to play it, and the best possible outcomes for it as well.
Well, you used the word patience there, and patience is the key. No wasted shots until right at the end. And Loughborough Sport extend their lead 6-3, but some real quality from both pairs here.
You say you're sort of trying to keep the patience though, but even, you know, it seems to be a big advantage to be really positive and trying to win the point. So how do you balance playing the long rallies against the fact that you've only got 9 points to get?
It's difficult. I'm not going to lie, it is difficult, and sometimes it's a risk, and it's you know, like that, she played a great shot, but you've got to follow it up. You've always got to expect for it to come back. I think, for me personally, you have to bring in your margins, especially on a singles court. You know, you don't have as much room to play with. But for these girls, you know, it's trying to find those spaces, and she found the space there, but unfortunately it just didn't work for her.
Well, it's big advantage to Loughborough here in the third. They lead 7-3. And this time it's Olver who finds the net. Uncharacteristic mistake from her, which takes us to game point to Loughborough Sport, 8-3.
Just get the feeling though, if Birmingham carry on defending like this and it'll be sort of quite passive in the defence, that Loughborough are just going to batter their way through. So they've got to be playing like Jess was doing earlier on, when she's looking for angles and trying to, and as you said, Fontaine, that once you've played it, you've got to be moving forward to try and take advantage of the net.
Yeah, I think it's, you know, they're both really powerful girls, the Loughborough girls. So Jess and Heather, they've got great attacks. So they've got to really make sure that they're trying to be positive and trying to get that attack and trying to look to change their defence positively into an attacking game.
Well, Loughborough take the third, 9-3 to lead 2-1 overall. It was a lightning start from Olver and Hopton for Birmingham Lions, but Loughborough just slowly started to turn the screw. We talked about whether fatigue would take its hold. Certainly, Loughborough's power game has really come to the fore there. They started to really hammer away towards the end of the second that they took 9-6. And all of a sudden, 9-3. Olver and Hopton have really got to start to work hard here if they're going to get back into this one.
Yeah, I think it was a good call. Lorraine Cole took the coaching timeout there, and it was a good time just to have a little word with Heather and Jess, just to sort of refocus them on the way that they played in the first set, and then we'll see if they can actually start to impose themselves again back on the game.
They will be looking to summon the spirit of Fontaine Chapman, who came from set point behind twice to win 3-0 against Linda Zachiri earlier to level up this match at 1-1. She's alongside myself and Neil Cottrell here in the commentary position as we head into the fourth set of this women's doubles. Heather Olver and Jess Hopton of Birmingham Lions trailing Chloe Birch and Jenny Walwork of Loughborough Sport 2-1. Loughborough to serve first in the fourth. Just across court there from Hopton.
It's unlucky.
It is unlucky. Just wide, and Birch and Walwork strike first. So this is a question to the both of you, really. How can the Birmingham pair go about nullifying the big power advantage that the Loughborough guys have?
I think it's quite difficult. They've got to try and get get the attack in first. You know, it's great that when they get a length, because that you know, that takes away some of the power that they can get behind it because they are on the back line. But as soon as they hit short, it's just opening up for them to be really aggressive. But when they're turning their defence into attack, it's great because they're looking at it. They've just got to follow up their good attack again and again, just like the other two girls are.
Birch into the net to make it 1-1 earlier in the fourth.
Yeah, I think the key to that, what Fontaine just said, is actually following up the attack. So once they've managed to take that, play the defensive shot and gain an advantage from it, is capitalising on that and making sure they try and win the points.
Just long there from Hopton. At this stage of this event, really important that both teams keep their errors down to a minimum. Into the net this time from Walwork to make it 2-2. Alongside us, Fontaine's getting actually quite animated. All of you guys involved in the NBL, you seem to have got really into the whole team thing. It seems to be a great thing to be a part of as a player.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially for me as a singles player, I'm out there on my own. So when you actually get a team event and a team match, and you know, even sometimes when I go on and I play doubles, it's great because I'm like, I've got someone that I can talk to, I've got someone next to me. You know, it is a very individual sport, and we compete, you know, for ourselves. A lot of our training is done individually when we're, you know, if you want to do those extra bits. So it's great when you finally become, you know, part of a team, and especially stuff like this. We're all so competitive that, you know, we all want to be each other, so we all want to be the best team. So I think, you know, that really shows.
It certainly does, especially when you're giving your oohs and ahs here in the commentary box.
Yeah.
We'll have to get a commentary cam on next time to see it all. But it's 3-all here in the fourth. Birmingham Lions to serve through Heather Olver. Better there from Hopton.
Much better when they are defending, but they're actually pushing up and they're looking to turn that into an attack, or even, you know, not even to get the lift, but just to pressure that front court area.
But Loughborough Sport strikes straight back, finding the space at the back of the court. 4-all. Once again, we can hear from that Loughborough travelling contingent. Short journey, of course, from the East Midlands.
That's unlucky. I think it's the right kind of shot that Jess was trying to play there, just to change the pace of the game. I think sometimes you can get drawn into a very, you know, bashing, hitting hard, and sometimes it's good just to take that pace out of it, and she was doing the right thing there.
Cross court that time from Birch, goes wide. And Loughborough call for the timeout there, which brings us on to another interesting conversation. How is it having the sort of dedicated timeouts in the NBL as opposed to the way you'd usually communicate with your coach?
I think it's interesting. You know, if you're not necessarily looking into your coach's corner to get little bits of advice, then, you know, you do have to work it out as you're going yourself, which I think is really important as a player, that you need to be able to do that, and you're able to do that because the game can change from rally to rally.
And Neil, from a coach's perspective, how do you think that differs in their mindset, just having that sort of one key moment to communicate?
I think it'd be massively frustrating for the coach, because I think coaches these days they play such an integral part in actually what happens on the court, that they must be absolutely dying to jump on court and say, well, do this, do that, or try this, try that. So sort of to encapsulate that into one timeout is really, really difficult.
So 5-all in the fourth. Hopton to serve for Birmingham. Well, it was finished off by Olver, but Hopton going through so much work in that rally to put Birmingham back into the lead. Yeah,
it's brilliant by Jess. She's being really patient. You know, her age and her experience on this court is much less than the other players, and she's doing a great job of just hanging in there. They are piling the pressure on her quite a bit, but she's handling it great.
Hopton serves 6-5 Birmingham Lions. But Walwork strikes straight back, smashing down the line. Little bit short there from the Birmingham pair, and this one is really evenly poised. Remember, first to 9, best of 5. So Birch and Warwick now requiring just 3 points for the match. And that's a lovely cross-court shot there. Heather Olver scrambles away to her right. Can't get anything on it.
Sorry, we've been saying about sort of Jess Hopton being able to find those angles, but you know, as soon as something different comes from the opposition, then it's that massive advantage. Most of the attacking play has been coming straight, but
this is a power play shuttle. Sorry to cut you off there, but this is the shuttle for the match. And Loughborough do it. They lost the first set, but then win 3 in a row. The on-form pair dig in to claim the victory and put their team 2-1 up on the night. Chloe Birch and Jenny Walwork have defeated Heather Olver and Jess Hopton 8-9, 9-6, 9-3, 9-6 to put Loughborough 2-1 up on the night. But there was no shame in that performance from Olver and Hopton, guys. They left everything out there, but ultimately Birch and Walwork's form showed as the match progressed.
Yeah, I think the girls gave it their all. They tried to change their tactics up by changing the pace, and unfortunately, I think the fact that Jenny and Chloe, they've played together a few times now, they're quite solid in how they want to play and how aggressive they are. So I think they just had the edge tonight, but it was a great game, great effort by the Lionesses.
Yeah, I think you called it at the start. You know, Jess got through an awful lot of work in that game, and that was always going to be the sort of the likelihood, with Heather being the experienced player.
So Loughborough lead 2-1 on the night against Birmingham Lions. The first event was the mixed doubles. Marcus Ellis and Lawrence Smith defeating Nico Rupanen and Alyssa Lim 9-5, 9-4, 9-7. Second up was the women's singles. Fontaine Chapman, who's alongside us in the commentary position.